I thought we were doing a super. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Spin Rack. This is Mars here. I'm here with my boys, PD and Cal. Say what's up, gents.
What's going on?
Hey yo, ready to rock.
Hey, so Disney just renewed 5 shows, MCU shows for second seasons or third, if you depending on how you look at it. Is this a good strategy? Is it not a good strategy? So we're gonna go down the list of stuff. And the boys, PD and Cal.
Hey, what's going
Let's
on?
get
Yeah. What's this? So what's this now? They renewed its fifth show or they renewed five
5
shows?
shows. It's fifth MCU. So let's go down the list and see what do we think whether or not this is a good idea to help Disney Plus because the numbers have been hit pretty hard going forward. So
Because the shows suck.
So going through Loki, what is your take on this, PD? Do you think this is a
I
They're
show
thought it
bring
was over.
they're
I thought
bringing
it was
Loki
over.
back for another season?
they're bringing back Loki for another season? I
What
think that
for?
I think the whole thing is that Loki ended at the place where is he who remains basically a version of Kang the Conqueror. And he basically takes his role where he's holding up, I guess, the Marvel time all the timelines together. And so I guess they're trying to figure out either he's continue to do that role or probably it will meld into what's happening with the new um
Didn't he grow?
Avengers.
Didn't you would call that growth, right? He had some growth.
One,
And
yeah, one version of Loki did have growth, right? So I mean, the question is it what is going on here and why are they
there's no
bringing
more
him back?
story. There's no more story. He has to throw the ties down and go play again. If you
So the
say
question is why. The question is,
finish, please finish. I'm sorry.
is there a need to go back to another story?
That's what I'm
No,
saying. That's
no.
exactly what I'm saying. Okay, season
Isn't that the
three
whole
is
thing with
back.
The whole thing with Loki was what? He wanted to achieve glorious purpose. He did that. Why are we going back?
All right, so skip it. Next one. Next, so
Of course, they're doing Born Again. This is the
this
moneymaker. This
time,
is moneymaker for Netflix, and now they had to retool it so it'll be a moneymaker for Disney Plus.
so they're saying that this is going to be different from how the one that was done, the Born Again, that was done by Netflix, right? So the question is this something that we should even be treading? Should we be going through a whole new Daredevil? It didn't do as well as people had expected to do when it came out last year. And it may be word of mouth. Probably only the hardcore fans were interested. Probably the story was just too much. But I think they're going back to the classic Daredevil and Kingpin again.
Do you,
Probably that will gather more people coming in.
Cal? Do you know the Shadowlands storyline?
Yeah.
So that's what they say they're doing.
Uh,
Uh oh.
really?
It
Oh
says
man.
while details
Yeah, I
of
wouldn't do that.
two not been publicly made public yet, it's expected to loosely adapt Shadowlands storyline from Marvel Comics.
But Shadowlands involved like the Hand and Daredevil becoming like the leader of the Hand. It was not. I wouldn't do that because that actually shut down the Daredevil storyline for a while, and then they had to. When like they put him, with the character, they put the character in the storyline where they've got to stop the book for a while,
Mhm.
and then they have to do like a limited series where they're like, okay, all that stuff is done. He's back now. You can just come back and read regular Daredevil. That's what happened after that storyline. I'm not sure if they want to do that, but hey,
But here's the problem with that. They thought that they were going to do Dark Reign. I don't know if that's something they want to do later on, where it's supposed to be where they have all the heroes fighting or going against Kingpin. Probably that's their Marvel Endgame thing that they're trying to do. But that was one thing they were talking about doing before. But now they're pushing Shadowland. I kind of agree with you. That storyline is not. I don't think it really melds with what just happened here. Putting him back, putting him with the Hand, and becoming the leader of the Hand. It kind of takes him away from, how do you go out? How do you take down Fisk from being mayor? The evilest guy. If that's what some of you guys believe, I think he's just misjudged.
There you
Um,
go.
running as mayor, the city
yep,
government.
can't help himself. Just can't help himself.
So that's my take on it. So I would like to see Born Again, but if it's really Shadowland, I don't. Um, I'm not
We
Well,
willing.
already saw Born
if you
Again. The first season
if
was
that
this was Born
No,
Again.
Dark Rain. That's what
Was
I
it
said.
called Dark Rain?
I'm
You said
saying
you
No, he
said
no.
said
Born
born
Again.
again.
You said Born
I said
No, he
Again.
said Born Again.
it's called Born Again. That's what I'm
He
saying.
said
But I'm
Born
saying
Again.
I said Born Again, but I'm saying really it's supposed to. Really, they were selling it as they're going to develop the whole Dark Reign series, whereby you have him going against Mayor Fisk. Even though Mayor Fisk is making the trains run on time, people are like, no, we're against this guy. These heroes were not registered and stuff. But now if we're doing a whole different direction with the Hand, I don't know. Probably because they want to bring other heroes in. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm still interested. So Daredevil is a thumbs up for me for it to continue. Gentlemen, what's your take on
But
this? Yes or no? Up or down?
Daredevil has better storylines to adapt, but I mean, what I'm hearing from what we got from the last TV series was that it was hella bad, and they had to go back to retool to kind of salvage it from being it just being like totally bad at the end of the day. I enjoyed it, but for me, that was a revisit of a lot of the stuff that I liked from the Netflix series, whereas other people were more critical. But if you're gonna go forward with if you I don't think Dark Reign is a good storyline to go with. I don't think Shadowland is a good storyline to go with either. If you want to deal with the Kingpin, if you want to deal with the Kingpin being the mayor and such, then really what you need to adapt is like the fall of the Kingpin storyline. That's probably the best one to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the very least, you can get him out of the mayor role without getting him, out of the storyline altogether. But at this point, I don't think they know what they want to do. I just don't.
No, I'm
Okay.
I'm still with the Dark Reign. I like that. Petey, you're in the middle. What's your call on this? And think very
Um,
carefully because
I guess the same thing. The only, I struggle with
thank you.
the White Tiger. Stop it. I was struggle with the White Tiger. Otherwise, it was watchable. Because I was a fan
Okay.
of the White Tiger.
All
Me
right.
too. Me too. I don't like they did him dirty. They did him dirty.
But it's done. It's now his what is his sister or his niece down who's running it? So
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not. I was okay when he was at some point in the '90s. He showed up. They showed up as a female character. I didn't have a problem. I didn't have an issue with them just taking him just like basically being a guardian angel who gets shot. Like that's basically what happened to him. They turned him into nothing. Sorry, I got upset.
Yeah. Well, that was what's his name? That's our boy, Brian Michael Bendis. He just chumped him.
Oh,
oh my
Brian.
gosh. Are
Yeah,
we
thank
starting with the
you.
whole
Thank you
Bendis?
for adding
Oh
that.
my
Thank
gosh.
you.
No way. We're
Thank
not
you.
going down the
Thank
Bendis
you.
road
We
again.
needed to be clear to know who came up with that storyline.
I
Yep,
thought it
that
was
was
an
Brian
interesting
Michael
storyline.
Bendis.
I think you guys are just haters, man. You can't just automatically throw just because of what he did, throw everything out with throw the baby with the
Isn't that
bathwater.
throwing the baby out with the bathwater by just shooting him in the head? Because they
But
already
you
had
guys are saying that
they
they did
already
it. You
had
guys,
a female. They already had a female white type before Bendis got there.
The thing is that Hector Ayala is the first Puerto Rican superhero for Marvel Comics, and there was no regard for the historic nature of his character. He was used so frivolously in that storyline. Yeah, so yeah, I think Bendis deserves all the criticism that he gets for doing what he did. All of it.
I don't. I totally disagree. Hey, let's move on to the next one. What if one of the highlights of the Marvel Disney Plus series? They're talking
Caesar
about coming back for a
says.
coming back for the third season. Do you
Caesar
think this is going to
says.
do you think this is going to be another hit series this time? So I'll put this on to somebody who's objective, unlike someone else who has a bad thumb right there. Cal, what's your take on this, bro?
I don't know
Oh,
why they're doing another one of these. These have not been good.
They've been
That first
popular.
season was every other episode. It's like one episode good, one episode bad, one episode good, and then it kind of just fell apart at the end. And then every season that's come back, the showrunner only had an interest in the characters that she created. So Captain Carter became the star of the show. The Native American girl who got created, and Evil Doctor Strange. That's what the whole show was about. And then all of the what if stories had what was the one? I mean, they had the what if story with what if Nebula, something dealing with Nebula, and I'm like, why is it Nebula? It should be this character. That's where the story should be at the end of the day. They did not want to do the traditional type of what if stories where let's look at the storylines, which they actually tacked to a little bit better in the first season. Let's look at the storyline and what if Star-Lord had kept his composure and not let Thanos get the Infinity Gauntlet. That's something that you do as a what if story. Instead, they're like, hey, what if we totally ignore everything that happened and I just write the story that I want to write with my own characters? So now we're coming back. I don't have a lot of interest in this. I thought it was executed very, very poorly towards the end of the first season. And every season out was just a lot of, look, I'm just going to be in this for the characters I create. And it becomes a vanity piece. But very little, it did very little for the Marvel universe. I thought the bigger thing that they were going to introduce the Marvel zombies, they might have got some traction there, but the way they went about it was silly. So I don't have a lot of hope for this. I'm probably
Well,
not going to watch it at all.
I would say, and I'm going to have to say this over what you said because at this point, I feel I can express it a little better in saying ditto. Ditto, I totally agree. There we go. I pass it off to Mark.
All right. So first of all, I think once again that you two are bonkers. I think both these series have been really good. What if and deceased. Um, I think that zombie.
What? You
Excuse me.
talking about we brought in DC, the
No, no,
sea?
no, no, no. My bad. The zombie. So what I'm saying is that both are, I think, have been relatively successful. The key thing that you got to understand is that the what if is here is not based on the comics. It's
We
based
know.
on
We know.
I
MCU
already
characters.
said that.
And
I
then
already said that. I gave
I
an
just want
example.
I
I
just want to
gave an
make sure.
example
Well,
based on
there's
what the
that
what if
too.
should be. I already
I
said
just want,
that.
and I'm reiterating that, and I think that some of you guys take this the wrong way. I think it's a new way to look at some of these characters, and I think they've done successful. From Peggy Carter, from Doctor Strange, once again, who's misunderstood, who was trying to bring the world together, but went a little bit overboard. I think that we should give the
What do you
writer
mean he
full
was trying to
credit.
bring the world together? He was trying to undo stuff so he was did this the whole thing for one selfish act. He was trying to get his girlfriend back. He wasn't trying to bring the world together.
He just figured that if he had more power, he'll be able to make things better the way it was. But it just went
Yeah,
off
that
of.
sound familiar to you, Mars? Sound familiar to you?
Mhm.
Yeah, I bet it sounds familiar, right? Yeah.
I don't recall. But getting back to this, I think that this is you totally missed the boat on this, and the very fact that they're bringing new characters with new powers and making them central in this sandbox. This is not the Marvel comics. It's not
Thank
even the.
you. Thank you. You've already
This
said
is a
that. You
derivative.
already
This is
said
a
that.
derivative. So I'm just saying. I think I'm happy they have another version coming. I'm all for it. Okay. So big thumbs up on my end. Next one, Petey. We're all in agreement. We want it again.
Yeah, right. Um, your
Yeah.
friendly
All right.
neighborhood Spider-Man.
I can't.
Hmm.
This is just a little bit too much for me. So I'll
Are
pass.
you kidding me? You
Yeah.
want to see what if, but you don't want to see another season of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
I like What If. You can like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man if that's your thing.
I liked Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm just
Like,
like,
I don't have to like
you're
everything.
gonna
All I'm
come over
saying,
here,
I can be a more
you're gonna
discerning
come over
person,
here
or I
and
can listen to
support
what.
what if, and you've got an issue with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
Yeah, I do. It's hard for me to watch something. It's okay, but it's not like I have to watch. While the others I've completely watched, it's been a little bit different for me to watch this whole thing. So it's I guess I just have to probably just need to sit down and get over some of the major changes that they've done in the show. But that's a whole
Thank
nother issue.
you.
Probably we'll
Thank you
talk
for
about that
saying
another.
major changes to the
I,
character.
I still don't get this. What if major changes, major changes? Spider-Man, no, can't accept the major changes.
Yeah.
I can be open to them, unlike you two, but I can. It's just a lot come in.
Come
Well,
on, you know you love your neighbor.
yo, so Petey, you have anything to add, or we
No,
just
I'm
move on
not.
to
I definitely, I think in anything that we did, actually, as far as some of the, action is parts where I'm saying, are they going to get closer to it? But everything is kind of ruined with Harry Osborn and Norman Osborn, and it changes, and the effect of trying to interject, characters going bad and all that other stuff. It's just in the core of it with the overly cosmic kind of like loop that they tried to do. It just really wasn't for me. And where we see when you do
That
something that's kind of outside of the realm, when you have what's that thing, the Spider Verse, they kind of took it and just said, "We're having fun. Here's our Kingpin, who's like the Kingpin, it's definitely like the comic book, but he's more like the Bill Sienkiewicz Kingpin, who's huge, and he's strong, and strong enough to fight in this one. So it's like we just had fun with it. This one is a little checking off all the boxes. You're the one who said it for. You actually gave me a card with all the boxes. This is trying to check off as many boxes as possible. You said it when we did that time travel thing. You said it checked up all the boxes. This is one of the things you gotta forget, right? But that was one of the classic moments of the show that I wanted to do more about. And this, they try to check off too many boxes and this not be a good show. So
I don't recall what you're talking about, P. I have
okay,
to see
I'm
that movie
sorry.
again. I
Maybe it was
think
someone another Mars. What was it? Wario? You like to say Wario's the one?
Yeah.
I do have an
No,
evil
what
brother,
is
Wario.
I mean, I've never seen a Spider-Man show make the grievous mistake of having his powers based on a time paradox.
Mm.
And I looked at it, I was like, did they understand how this is supposed to work? Because according to this, he never became Spider-Man. They're saying that, okay, he got bit by a radioactive spider or like a spider that came through some sort of it was like an extra dimensional spider or something. He got bit by that. Then you go through the show and find out no, it was just a regular spider that dropped through whatever portal Doctor Strange had at the time. So the spider was never irradiated. It never had irradiated blood, or it was never radioactive to bite Spider-Man because it bit Spider-Man, who was never bit by a radioactive spider. When I looked, I was like, they don't understand how this works, do they? They must be really good at physics puzzles.
And the hard part is that I understand Peter Parker became an extremely likable character, but the initial thing of the character was he was likable to us fans. He was struggling with his thing, which what a lot of kids go through of having struggles with their peers. And this sort of thing is just like just for me. This is just for me. I understand that Spider-Man has evolved into something where people are, but they kind of pushed it way farther, saying, "Don't change, Petey. Don't change." The sweetest guy, and like just banging my head. It's like this is like look, even in the first, he's trying to go out on date. He's asking people out. He's and as the book goes on with and Stan and Steve Ditko's doing it. You could see his confidence grow as far as going out there, and at the same time, his anger. He gets upset about stuff, but at the same time, this one is I don't know. There's too many. You see the characters, the characterization of all these other characters that are saying, "Well, look we only have these squares in here. We got to add all these colorful type characters in here," and this falls apart, in my opinion. So you could just have the action, and we always can't. I can complain all about that. I'm getting. Let's get at it and get to your favorite thing, which makes no sense: Marvel zombies. I cannot deal with any Marvel unless someone wants to go back to Spider-Man. I'll pull it back to that, but. I
No,
don't.
I just want to wrap up the Spider-Man, and I just want to just say,
You don't like it?
so
Yes.
Sony and Marvel, these are not the views of
I
the
knew it
spin
was
around
gonna go into some
individual opinion.
nonsense. I knew
So
it was
just
gonna go to some nonsense.
these are just what do you call this?
We are
Positive
talking about Marvel
criticism.
zombies. It makes no sense. I don't like the comic book. I don't like the show. The idea and the movie that these things that they still have the ability to use their powers with no problem. It makes no sense. I think Mars tried to say, hey, they do have someone controlling them. I don't care. Zombie, you should be deficient in your abilities, and you just have to be the horror of seeing someone that you thought was cool. Now, being possessed is something different. Now you can have it, but now people don't even believe possessed people could fight at the normal speed. So then you had a loss. You totally had a loss. So of
I kind of disagree with you because on this end,
course you do.
um, well, if you see the comic book, the zombies are basically they keep all their thoughts. They're basically themselves, their personalities, their histories, as opposed to the show where most of them are mindless. So you have like in The Walking Dead, a lot of them are mindless, but you also see the evolution of some of these zombies as they go on, and you see this in some of the newer shows that are
Evolution
coming
of
out like 28 years
zombies
later. So I mean, you not accepting that zombies are evolving, some of them
have
is here,
evolved.
most of them are not evolved, but here most of them are not being evolved. They're being controlled by Scarlet Witch. So I can't understand that. The question though, whether is it a good show, I think it's good. I think you see some of the characters going through some very difficult things. The action, people are suffering. There are consequences of not being able to stop this thing when they could have stopped it before. There are consequences when people get caught out, and I like it because of that. Very good, well done, executed action.
No,
Every single episode is
No,
good.
this
no,
is did
no.
you did you read Thor Vikings?
No, I did not read Full Vikings. What is that about? Thor Vikings.
Petey, did you read Thor Vikings?
Yeah, I just remember the fight with the main fight, but what about it?
Thor Vikings was well, it was part of the Max imprint written by
Mm-hmm.
Garth Ennis, so you already know to expect some nonsense. So it's what happened was there was like these Vikings, they did some horrible stuff and they got cursed, and they became zombies. So now Thor is fighting these zombie Vikings at the end. That's the only way that Thor would have any trouble with this. And it
Right.
was just an extension of this at the end of that at the end of the day, where you got these Vikings and Thor should just be laying waste to them. But somehow, because they're zombies, they're a problem for Thor. And you're like, what are you talking about? Thor should just scoop everybody up in a hurricane, throw them into space, and that would be the end of it. But now he's fighting them. He's worried about getting bitten. Somehow, being a zombie gives you like ridiculous abilities that zombies have never shown to have. Here, same thing. The fact that you're the Hulk and you get well, the fact that you're the Hulk and you're being somehow changed into a zombie makes no sense. The Hulk's healing capacity should just never happen. I read the first one. I was like, all right, this is like as a lark. I was like, all right, I can read this, no big deal. But everybody was, literally Galactus becomes a zombie or they eat Galactus. It just becomes ridiculous at the end of the day in terms of a storyline. It just
Yeah.
is. This should have been like a lark and left at that, but it became popular. People liked it. So it's like, hey, guess who's back for another bite? That type of nonsense. But if you read Thor Vikings, that's pretty much that's pretty much like the prototype for what we would get in Marvel Zombies. Yeah, I just agree with Petey. It's ridiculous. It really is because becoming a zombie is supposed to become debilitating.
But this
So the idea of a character like Reed Richards and he becomes a zombie, but he still has his ability to stretch and it's stupid. It just is.
look, I think you guys are missing it. I think yes, that was probably the definition of a zombie before. But if you've been watching like The Walking Dead, if you've been watching 28 Years Later, if you've been watching the Legend, what is it? I Am Legend. The zombie characters have evolved. They're no longer simply just mindless things,
It's
right?
called bad writing.
It's
Yep.
called it's bad writing for
There's,
you whenever you do it
there's
doesn't agree with what you think.
no.
That's
I'm
what
saying there's
yeah,
no story left to do. At some point, you just
yeah.
the
How do we
zombies
say
are about it's about the people. It's about us three being left in a zombie apocalypse. That's what The Walking Dead is supposed to be about, not about the zombies evolving.
But it is
hey, how do
about
we spell
how do we
how
stop
do
it?
you
How do we
say
get it
bad
back?
writing? How do you say bad writing in English? How do you say bad writing in English?
How do you
Do
say
not
it?
say Bendis. Do not say Bendis.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, sorry. No. How do you say bad writing in German?
How do you say bad writing in German?
Zack Snyder.
Oh man.
Okay, because that's how
That's
we got these zombies at the end of the day with that
okay.
Yeah, the
There you
action-packed
that
zombies.
Dawn of the Dead. You got zombies running at 40 miles an hour. Like what?
Okay, I think we need to go on to
28
X-Men.
Days Later is something totally different. It's saying
28
they
years.
got rage. So then you want to say that they're evolving. That's in their story. In zombie land, right? We already accepted that these zombies don't need someone controlling them, right? It's just the dead, the graves giving up their dead. And they're just walking the earth and they're trying to eat and they're just mindless, right? There's nothing else to do. And that's what The Walking Dead, 100 and something issues, 141 issues of the people dealing with them. Yeah, maybe the the TV show, they try to show him walking around with his family and like a whole tree of it's just stupid. You can't try to create, try to have some more better existence for zombies when it's just about, hey, across from me, Mars is now a zombie, and I have to fend for my life. I can't try to talk to them and say, hey, what about our deal at Marvel? It's not going to work.
Again, even if you look at The Walking Dead, the comic, they had the ability to do. They had in Walking Dead series, they had a group called Variants, right, who were able to do more than just a standard running zombie coming after people. These guys can turn knobs, they can climb. They seem more intelligent. So even there,
They
you see
saw
this.
Z Nation and they say, why are we doing this? We should have some more fun. They
I didn't
saw
see
Z
Z.
Nation that was doing
I
everything
didn't see Z
ridiculous
Nation. I don't think
possible.
most. I
They
think
they
more
they
people saw
had
Walking Dead than they saw Z Nation. Okay,
no Z Nation. The Z Nation did cannibals,
it's a
not
parody.
zombies. They did cannibals, and then what's the name spent, and that was one episode. what's they spent a whole season on cannibals at that period, regular human cannibals. It's like this is a gag. You don't have to kill yourself on it. So have they were having fun. Now you're trying to make more sense of these things, or they're different kinds. It's just like you're sitting around in the Marvel
Well,
bullpen
no,
and
think,
say, "What's next?"
no, no. You got to think about it. So when the first the virus goes out, right? Everybody's dying. You know, after a while, there's no one left. So who are you going to eat? Other zombies. As time comes on, someone gets a little stronger, a little smarter, a little better, or it didn't affect them quite the way. So that's
It's
why. And
not
listen, we're not here to talk about.
it's
We're not here
not
to
a
talk about
film.
zombies.
It's not like a Western genre that goes through a cycle where you have here's the classic, here's the mass production version, and then here's a revision, and here's the zombie comedy. Like you can't. It's not. It doesn't. It's a simple thing. It's just an apocalypse story. It's one of the many apocalypse stories that you can have. The Earth got destroyed. Now you got the zombies giving up their death. There's not much else you can do with the story unless you come up with ridiculousness.
Okay. So
Yeah,
look,
like Thor Vikings.
we we will agree to disagree on this. Clearly, we have
No,
to.
we won't.
So
No, we
bonus
won't.
X-Men 97. Let's get to that one.
That really went super left.
So X-Men 97, we are in agreement that they're going to make another series. We're okay with this. This is one of the most popular
Yes.
series on X on
It
Disney
just better be
Yes.
Plus.
good. It just better be good.
After that, after the season we just had, yeah, you can't drop the ball. That was good.
It says season 2 will begin with the team split into three different timelines, culminating in the group's eventual confrontation with the all-powerful Apocalypse, which I think is a good thing. Apocalypse being involved in this is a very, very good thing. You know, he's one of the most dynamic, misunderstood characters in the show. He has an idea. He's been around for a very, very long time, and he has a lot of power. He's able to transform some of the weaker characters into better versions of themselves. So yeah, I'm definitely down to see Apocalypse back in the show.
I'm more of if less that Apocalypse is the villain and more if the writing is of the quality that we had from the first season, because the first season was very well written. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of nods here and there, but overall it was a very good story that we were given. Please follow that up with the same. I understand that showrunner is not going to be there and there was all this behind the scenes drama, but if we can get the same quality in terms of writing, I think it's going to be very enjoyable. And then I would look forward to a third season. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the season coming up because the first season was very good.
PD, a resident X-Men expert.
I'm gonna have some issue with the X-Men, and I had issue with this. But the fact is, the same like the original cartoon, the fact that this was a lot of definitely kids X-Men, which was, taking from what, the Jim Lee run happened, it can't be denied. So the only thing is to keep up what it's doing and be successful for the people who like it. Because obviously I'm gonna have, oh, they shouldn't have done this, they shouldn't have had Gina and Madeline. They shouldn't have Madeline at all. That sort of thing. Those are more of the icing stuff. I think they might have went too far with some of the nutty stuff they did as far as Cyclops using his power, but he was cool, and I can't as long as they made him cool and not just second banana to Wolverine, even though they did have some elements of that in there, But at the same time, hey, as long as the X-Men is the cartoon success and the X-Men success, the hard part is it feels like the showrunner before is kind of like with the buzz around it. It would be like, well, we got to give it to this guy because he seems like the guy, and they were like, well, we got some things we can say is questionable. Let's get rid of him because he might be running the whole thing, and that feels like the Feige struggle right now. Like who's it does the Guardians of the Galaxy who's doing Superman, James Gunn, like the idea that James Gunn, who's it, Jeff Loeb, all these guys that could be the next Kevin Feige have been kind of pushed out. I'm not saying it's the same thing. They never really pulled out all the information about the showrunner, but the same thing is successful. I'm all for the X-Men being successful. and a little bit more uniform than the comic books. So, I can't. What can I say?
That's pretty nice of you. Where's the
You can't be.
OP?
You can't be mad. You can't be crabby all the time. And for the fans that say stop
Want
I,
to
crab,
bet?
and for something that's at times might not be for me, but I watched all the episodes. Like, hey, it is what it is. It's something that might be out of my realm, but hey, they got a couple storylines that I used to read, which is the Cyclops and Phoenix, them going back in time with Cable. So that which was a real nutty storyline, but the art was good with Gene Ha, and we got some other stuff with Apocalypse going on. And he was, I think, for the X Factor time when X Factor was rolling and became the number 2 X book, like he was a big deal. Like he was a big deal for me. And since the original X-Men were back up to speed, it was a good period for me. So hearing Apocalypse is in there, even if you don't get to do, who is it? You don't get to do what Louise Simonson said you should do, where he, even if in loss, it's a win for him because it shows that mutant kind can last past him. You want to, I think Jim Lee and Wills Portacio did them in the last X Factor story with the originals as him just trying to take Nathan and, destroy the Inhumans and the Earth. He was going after everything. And that was cool. So just make them big and fun and have a lot of action to it. And I guess they're gonna, bring Magneto back because of course he's super popular and do the romance between him and Rogue, which I'm not really too far into, but at the
Oh
same
yeah,
time,
I'm not with that either. Please don't leave it alone.
but you got
Forget it ever
Apocalypse.
happened.
you got a big Apocalypse thing, and he needs to be done right, or at least be a good, super good villain. So that's what I got. Omega Red, Sabretooth, and Lady Deathstrike, all cool villains. But they're all, it's something that's not really for cartoon fare. The first, when Omega Red comes in, like 20 people die, like to bring him back to life. Obviously, Sabretooth is a more lethal Wolverine, and Lady Deathstrike, it's in the name, and she has claws herself. So they are bringing in characters that they have to watch out for. Wolverine was a midwife to Jean or Madeline in the last season, so you got to watch out for these guys that can cut people in half. So we'll see how they do. But they killed Gambit, so they're going to see how much of the line they can pull with this stuff. So let's see.
And something tells me Gambit will be back.
I agree with you. I
I
think
feel
Gambit
too.
will be.
Yeah, I think possibly. But as long as we get with Krakoa, then I'm going to come back here and I'm flipping out. Krakoa comes into this in any play, I'm out. I'm flipping out. Power of X with a power of 10, House of X. I'm flipping out, guys. I'll be back. I'm back. It's like Kyle Reese. Then why am I talking to you? That Krakoa is out there. It's going to ruin the X-Men. And it won't stop until the sales are in the toilet. No, sorry. Okay, you happy? You got the X-Men rabid me out. Okay, I did it.
Well, thank you for showing your true self. We appreciate it always. So hey, just let me give Fire a sentence to wrap this up and say, hey, we've gone through many shows and we've had difference of opinions.
Oh my God.
We've come back and we've decided that let's give Disney Plus a chance. We just remember all that you've heard have just been suggestions, just banter and funniness from the group. Nothing really serious that we really meant. Remember.
Oh, I meant it with the zombies. I meant it. I'm totally against zombies and what if. Totally
So,
against it.
Spinnerack.
We are out.
Yeah, subscribe, comment, give us a thumbs up.
Spinner out.